In this video, I'm going to see what impact pushing a wrestler up the card within 6 months with an undefeated streak to the point where they will win the World Heavyweight Championship from the most popular wrestler on the roster. What will this do to the morale of the other wrestlers? Will the personality or attributes of the push wrestler be affected, and will I mess up things along the way? When you think of an undefeated streak in wrestling, you probably think of The Undertaker at WrestleMania, but in this case I'm thinking more of a Goldberg in WCW. He was pushed as the undefeated, unstoppable force who could go in the ring and decimate his opponents. Lesnar and Ryback had similar starts in WWE, but potentially those Goldberg chants pivoted them away from a long-term streak focus. So let's find someone in the Cornerverse who would fit a similar mould as Bill Goldberg in his early days in WCW. I first looked at Hellion in the SWF, but he was 100% a heel. He lacked charisma, which Goldberg had in spades, plus he'd already debuted, so maybe I need to look into SWF development and in RIPW, where I can find my guy. It was there that I found Whole Lotta Marvin. He is 6'8" and 322 pounds of muscle. A former pro footballer, he isn't very good in the ring, so he will be very green to start, like Goldberg was when he first started, and he has bags of charisma. The only difference is Marvin is actually pretty accomplished with his microphone skills, but I won't use that much until he gets into bigger feuds. I think we will shorten his name to Marvin. Can you imagine the sounds being piped into the arenas? Marvin, Marvin. A quick change of gimmick to a badass destroyer. We don't want a positive preaching New Day character for our Goldberg-esque push. We will need a B-show to get started. If I want Marvin to get over and beat as many people on the roster as possible within 6 months, he's going to need to work every show. Well, at least to start with. After his first 2 shows, which we focused in New England where his popularity is at its highest, he beat 2 guys from developmental. This was a win-win in my book. Marvin is taking popularity from them. All involved will get national exposure in the US and in Canada, as we have TV there too. As you can see, after the first week, Marvin is already shot up in popularity. I guess national exposure will do that for you. Let's jump 2 months into the future. Marvin is still undefeated and has been on every TV show and pay-per-view so far. He has gone up to around 44 popularity across the board, up from an average of 14 after week 1. The only person who has been upset so far losing to Marvin was Diva Arnold. The name maybe give me a hint as to why, but their contract was running out soon, so I just got rid of them. Can't have him being angry and upset in the locker room, especially when Marvin needs to get to the top. So far, he has beaten developmental talent, local talent that are borrowed in, and lower card talent, up until February where I booked him to beat James Prudence, who is a 42-year-old veteran, a mid-card gatekeeper who can carry people to a decent match. It was around this time where I needed to change how I was playing the game. I was auto-booking everything and only focusing on Marvin. This was a terrible idea and SWF dropped to medium, something that hasn't happened to me in years of playing this game. This was going to make this project longer than planned, as I only had a few hours between work and family life to play. I created the SWF Network, which is a subscription-based service, think WWE Network, and it made it very big in US, Canada and Mexico, so they were already a size up from what they were with the TV show. I was losing the network anyway because of the underperforming scores, as I'd just been too focused on Marvin. By month 3, Marvin is improving, mostly in his fundamentals, but slowly bit by bit in his primary skills too. His popularity is now up to 59 on average, so that puts him as a mid-carder in the SWF. Marvin is still undefeated. He is now beating mid-carders more regular on Supreme TV and lower carders on Uprising, so he can beat as many people on the roster as possible, heel or face. Jumping to month 4 now, and this is where he sits after the world is watching pay-per-view. I would consider him an upper mid-carder now, although his momentum being white hot, he is probably a main eventer. Look at that streak! Wait a minute. The streak is over. in my haste at getting further in the game, with an hour tops available on my lunch breaks to get it done, I booked the match but didn't set a winner, so the road agent had put Smasher over, who was more popular at the time. Still, we move on. It is no longer an undefeated streak story, but he won't lose again. And I still plan on him winning the title at Supreme Challenge from Rocky Golden, the most popular star on the roster, who is going to be undefeated until that match as well. Look at the merch he is making. Marvin is up to 8 this month, so good for him and me. We jump ahead another month. Marvin is still improving slowly. He works on his basics and safety with Angry Gilmore every show, who was our head male trainer. After Master of Puppets, he's in the top 5 wrestlers of popularity within the SWF, only behind Rocky Golden, Remo, Scythe and Valiant. For now. He hasn't lost since, and has even been involved in an 87 rated main event tag match of Supreme TV. I placed him in his first feud with Unleashed Awesomeness, which has just finished at Master of Puppets. I chose not to put the mid-card title on Marvin, instead focusing on that goal of becoming the SWF champion, beating Rocky Golden for the title on the grandest stage of them all, in the Cornelverse. Fast forward another month, Marvin is still white hot. He is seen as a main event star. His popularity is averaging 79, so it's only gone up 1, but it stayed at 85 in New England. I'm starting to worry that he might have reached his popularity cap. He still hasn't lost a match since, and I don't plan on him doing so. He did go to a time limit draw in a tag match main eventing on Supreme TV, but the biggest story, at times of trouble, he won the #1 contendership in a Royal Rumble style match to face Rocky Golden at Supreme Challenge, so the match is on, and it's a totally unique way of winning a match and going on to face somebody for the title at the biggest event. Unless one of them gets injured, of course. Let's hope that's not any foreshadowing going on there. Nah, it's not. I'm only joking. That didn't happen. Here is the card for Supreme Challenge. He takes the SWF World title in a last man standing match. We got an 82 rating, but it was pinged because of a lack of selling. But I achieved the goal. Only Diva Arnold moaned about putting him over before he left. James Prudence went to, but then saw the menacing Marvin cracking his knuckles and thought better of it. He is still a people person, so no personality change and no effects at Marvin at all. Here you can see his stats improvement over the 6 months of wrestling every show and his popularity. He did cap out at 85 and Golden capped out at 90, so there's not a lot of difference. He became the #2 guy for merch in the SWF, but sits at the top of the mountain as the champion, on an almost undefeated streak. So have you ever pushed anyone on an actual undefeated streak, and what results have you got? Please let me know in the comments. I love hearing how others are playing this amazing game. If you want to play this game, there is a link in the description. I'm not an affiliate, so I won't get anything from it, but I just love this game so much. If you love TEW already and want some top tips, then please watch this video right here.